Welcome back to the Terry and Jesse Show. Father Charles Murr here. This segment is brought to you by Tan Book. Go to vmpr.org and click on the Tan Book logo to shop for all your Catholic books needs. Father Murr, I'm always moved by some of the stories you told us about Cardinal Gagnon over the years. And for those who don't know who he is, maybe they didn't read your book on Freemasonry. But can you give us a kind of a background who he is?
Which they should, Terry.
Yeah,
they should.
Absolutely. I get more people who take a picture of the book and say, I'm reading Father Murr's book. It's awesome. And they have a picture of the book. So, yeah, the book is getting all out and many different types. I think even in Polish, if I'm correct now, it's in Polish.
It's in Polish. It's in Czechian, Hungarian.
Oh, my goodness.
They're doing a translation right now into French. And I just signed a contract for a new Italian one.
Good.
Actually, the new contract is for the Godmother. They're going to do.
Oh, good.
The Vatican Murder in the 33rd Degree is in its third printing in Italy. So
awesome.
They said especially it's sold out in Rome.
Where it should.
Figure that out.
Yeah, you think? Well, yeah. Father, tell us a little bit about Cardinal Gagnon, who he was, and your relationship.
Well, let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Cardinal Gagnon was a French-Canadian Sulpician priest.
Mm-hmm.
He was also a provincial of the Sulpicians for Canada and then again in Latin America, in Colombia especially. Very devout man, very intelligent man, great sense of humor, a man of deep and profound faith, no nonsense. I met him in 1974 in Rome. We became friends from then on until the end of his life.
That's great.
But I wanted to tell you one story about him. I can't wait. Well, this is timely.
Good.
This is timely. I was stationed after Mexico. Cardinal O'Connor called me to New York. Mm-hmm. Thank God, because he saved my life.
Yeah.
And he asked me, where would you like to go? Where would you like to be stationed? I said, I wasn't brought up in that school. You put me where I'm needed.
I love it.
And he said, well, we don't do that anymore. And I said, well, I don't know what to answer you because I don't know the Archdiocese of New York. Anyway, I had 3 or 4 or 5 different choices. Mm-hmm. And I'm going around interviewing. It's like you're interviewing for a job.
Yeah.
I said, this is crazy. I'm a priest. You need me? You don't need me?
Exactly.
That's it. But the problem is that even at that time, this is like 1993, 94, the clergy was so divided already into ideologies.
Oh, yeah.
That if you would get into a rectory with 2 other priests and they're modernists, they'd have you for dinner.
Oh, of course.
You know, I mean, you wouldn't be able to do anything. So you're trying to find a fit. Anyway, I found this fit. The Cardinal told me of a priest, 74 years old, Father Delaney, his name was, in the South Bronx. He was 74 years old and going blind. Mm-hmm. And this was his last year, and the Cardinal didn't want to take him out of his parish for his last year before he retired.
Sure.
Could I go in and help him for the last year?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. That's without even knowing him or the parish or anything. I said, yes, I'd love that kind of assignment, right? Well, I went in. Good. We were in the South Bronx. I'm going to tell you something.
Tell me.
It was tough. St. Joseph's in the South Bronx, St. Joseph's Bathgate Avenue in the South Bronx.
Okay.
It seems like I'm making these things up because so many of them are so fantastic. Yeah. The first afternoon I'm there, Terry.
What happened?
I just went upstairs, unpacked my stuff, put on a cassock, came down, and Father Delaney is going to show me the school across the street. Well, we get out onto the street with, what was the man's name? Alfredo. Alfredo was the caretaker, a great guy, a Puerto Rican man who was fantastic. Very, very, very good man. With the 3 of us are standing on the corner of the church. Yeah. And kitty corner to us is another corner. Of course, is like a corner store. Down the street comes speeding this car.
Yeah.
and turns right in front of us and shoots and kills a 17 or 18-year-old.
What?
This is noon. This is at noon.
Oh my!
This is at noon. And listen to this. This sounds even more unbelievable. I go running over after you get over the shock of what just happened in front of you that you're watching, to give last rites to the. He looked. Everybody in that section was Puerto Rican or Dominican, so there's a good chance that they were Catholics, right?
Yeah.
I'm going. Well, Alfredo took me by the arm. He said, "Where are you going?" He said, "You shouldn't get involved with that." I said, "There's a man dying, right?" I said, his soul. And Alfredo said, "Father, he was a bad kid mixed up in bad things. If he goes to hell, that's where he belongs."
Oh my gosh.
Wow. I feel like, whoa, this was welcome to the South Bronx. This was welcome to the Bronx.
Baptism of fire. Wow.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, the story that I wanted to tell of it was difficult. It was a difficult situation. That's really difficult. And that's when I told you that we had the parish school right across the street, St. Joseph's School. Yeah. I don't know, 350 kids. About 30 to 40 of them had a father.
That's it?
In the home.
That's sad.
And many of them, Terry, I mean, this to me was a culture shock that I couldn't believe. Many of them were being raised by their grandmother.
Unbelievable.
Because their mother had run off with her latest boyfriend.
Wow.
And Terry, that's not it. The grandmother who's raising the kids because their mother ran off with the boyfriend, the grandmother is on crack.
Oh no.
Yeah. No. I'm saying, am I in the United States of America? Is this my country? Yeah, it was. Anyway, look, here's the story of Gagnon. Okay. Gagnon and I used to speak on the phone at least two times a week. Yeah. Right. And so I get a telephone call from him one evening. How are you doing? And everything else, kind of talking about things. And I said, "I'm fine. I just came back from a wake." He said, "Oh," I said, "Eminence, you can't believe it. I was told that there was a guy by the name of I'll say Roberto Gonzalez. I don't want to use
right.
Roberto Gonzalez, right down the street at the funeral home." Well, I walked in, and I'm recounting this to him over the phone. Yeah. But I walked in to the funeral home, and there was absolutely nobody there except somebody at the front desk. Yeah. And I said, "Well, I'm here for the wake service." Actually, I don't do a wake service. I do a rosary.
Amen.
A rosary with some preaching.
Absolutely.
Right. I stop and give a sermon. Right.
Good.
So anyway, I said, "There's nobody here." And I said, "Well, who are you looking for?" And I said, "Well, Roberto Gonzalez." Oh, he's in. They had two chapels, A and B, right? Yeah. So I went into A. Well, I came out. And I said, "That's not Roberto Gonzalez. There's nobody there, but it's a woman who's in the coffin." And the guy looked up and said, "That's Roberto Gonzalez."
Oh my gosh!
Right. So I guess Roberto Gonzalez, it turns out, is what we called in those days a transvestite.
Right.
And he's being buried in pearls and I don't know what else. Right. Yeah. But right. So Cardinal Gagnon said to me, and I'm recounting this to the Cardinal by phone. He said, "And what did you do?" I said, "Well, I came back home." He said, "You did what?" I said, "I came back home." He said, "Listen to me. This is a man who loved me, right?"
Yeah, he told you straight up.
"You get yourself right back there.
Yep.
And you say the rosary for that man. Yep. And if you don't, I don't want to hear from you again."
Wow, that's a true friend.
Yeah. I said, "Wow, are you?" He said to me, he said, "Charles, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Because there's nobody there, and the man is dressed up like a woman. He doesn't have a soul. He doesn't need prayer."
Great point.
Right? Well, I marched myself back got in and said the rosary by myself, and a few other prayers just to make up for my own belligerence, right?
Yeah.
I got back and I wasn't in the house a half an hour, and I got another call from Cardinal Gagnon. I said, well, did you go back and pray? I said, yes, I did. He said, good, then we can continue talking.
Unbelievable.
Right? But see, this is what kills me when they're saying, for example, that we hate the homosexuals and we're all afraid of homosexuals and we have homophobic. No, it's not that we hate. Nobody hates. What we're talking about is the sin of a union.
Yes.
Of a union with to bless a union. And by the way, I just see that one of our Jesuit friends is running around blessing unions. Also, the Pope is blessing unions. They're not blessing individuals; it's unions,
right?
Which they denied it the first time. Yeah, this transparency that they're talking about all the time, Terry, where is it? I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I agree.
It's incredible. Anyway, the point is, we hate the sin. We do not hate the sinner. And in that moment of weakness, when I just saw this man address this, well, there's nothing to do here. Yes, there is something to do there.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a beautiful testimony about how we should be dealing with people who are deep in mortal sin, objective mortal sin. Yes, they have a soul, and we need to pray for them, and we need to minister to them. I always say this: people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And you can have PhDs and whatever, but if you don't care for the soul, well, your education is useless. And so I think that's
Bishop Sheen also said it this way, Terry.
Yeah.
He said, the world has heard every reason for the existence of God.
Yeah.
And the world is ready to reject every one of those reasons.
Yeah. Except
love.
Except love. Isn't that beautiful? Wow.
That's it.
He nailed it. Hey, Father,
what you're saying, you can have all the reasons in the world, you can have all the degrees in the world, you can have all of the education in the world. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You have no love, as St. Paul said. What have you got? Nothing.
And what does St. Thomas say about what true love is? Willing the good of the other. So how can you will the good of the other if someone is practicing sodomy? Let me just be honest with you. And you say, oh, that's okay. You're in love with your boyfriend just because you're a man. See, this is not supported by a biblical worldview. And we have people high in the officials of the church saying that they love each other. It's okay. That's not love. Love is willing the good of the other. When we come back.